I like to see Jamaica become crime free. In Jamaica and we're Jamaica living for economy. No more breeder lasting. Revelation set. Eat what we grow. Grow what we eat. It is good for our economy.
Welcome once again to Agrobuzz, our weekly agricultural program right here on Durain's Coffee Break, as we bring you more news, views and interviews on developments in the very important agricultural and agro-industrial sector. Now, last Wednesday, following an outbreak of E. coli in romaine lettuce in the United States, the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, through its plant quarantine and produce inspection branch, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health's Public Health Division, suspended the issuing of permits for the importation of romaine lettuce from the United States. Additionally, imports in transit were seized for destruction upon arrival in Jamaica and will continue to be seized. The import suspension comes in the wake of the outbreak of E. coli in the lettuce in 11 USA states, where consumers in the USA and Canada have been asked to immediately desist from consuming the product until further notice. The suspension of import permits for romaine lettuce will be enforced until further notice as well. Now, to give us more information on the reason for this decision is Mr. Damien Rowe, Acting Senior Plant Quarantine SPS Enquiry Point Officer of the Plant Quarantine and Produce Inspection Branch. What a long name it is. Mr. Damien Rowe, good morning. Welcome to Agrobuzz.
Good morning, Doreen, and good morning to your listeners.
Right. Now, what exactly is E. coli? I mean, some people say that, sure, just wash it off and it's all right. What exactly is E. coli?
So, E. coli is Escherichia coli, the long name, but it's a bacteria that lives, it's a diverse set of bacteria that lives in the intestine of animals. And this bacteria can cause severe illness, waterborne and foodborne illness. So if you consume food that have been contaminated with E. coli, it can cause illness. And there are some good strains. So your intestine normally has these bacteria, but there are some severe strains, like the one that have been reported, the 015787 bacteria. It causes nausea, pain, diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, and kidney damage, and could lead to death if not managed properly.
Wow, was that message was not relayed when we were talking about the suspension? I put all of that in the mix. People would understand why they should stop.
Yes, but we try to manage it as carefully as properly, not to create too much panic.
But people need to know the risk they're taking if they decide to just wash it off or just ignore the suspension message. So it's a serious outbreak, and this temporary ban is very essential.
It's very essential. It's one of our first guard measures that we use to ensure that our population is not infected or get contaminated with this type of bacteria.
Exactly. Now, what has the response been locally with the suspension?
Well, the good thing about it is that our local stakeholders, they understand the nature of the problem, and they have been working with us to prevent us seize the importation of this lettuce or romaine lettuce. It is important at this time that I must say that our local lettuce is not the issue, because I know people will be scared to consume lettuce at this point, but the problem is just imported lettuce, and it's just a small portion that was imported. We began importing lettuce since October, and 2 shipments since October, and this shipment in particular is just a small quantity which have been destroyed.
Okay. No.
So the local lettuce is safe to be consumed, and Jamaican population, when we have lettuce, Doreen, we don't just consume them. We wash them in salt and vinegar.
Right.
And that itself, that little acid base that is created, helps to destroy the pathogen. Okay. So we have good food practices in Jamaica, which help us to not have these type of outbreaks.
So, Mr. Rowe, we can't plant enough lettuce that we don't have to import any?
Interestingly, and let me tell you, we have been consuming our own lettuce. So anytime we do import lettuce is when we have a shortage, because ever since we have been importing, we have been we have been growing and consuming majority of our lettuce. So for importation, it's really a small quantity, and we only do that when our local lettuce runs low. There's a problem, a drought problem. that we, import lettuce, but we don't normally import lettuce on a whole. We consume our local lettuce, so we produce a lot of lettuce locally.
The concern was like in the hotel sector, but the hotels should support the local farmers, man.
They do.
Good.
And romaine lettuce is one of the main. Romaine and iceberg are two of the main lettuce that we grow locally. So anytime we do have a shortage, the ministry usually monitor the horizon, the local horizon, and look to see what the supply is locally. And if we have a shortage, then we make provision to import just to satisfy and not to create a panic or bring up the prices in the local market.
Now, if some consumers did purchase the imported romaine lettuce and didn't hear the message, and I'm just hearing it now, what can they do with what they have left?
Well, I would say to them, do not heat. And if they have it in a position, it is safe to destroy in a most environmentally friendly way. And of course, if they can return to the supplier, they should do so if it is practical.
That means if they have the receipt,
yes.
they'll have a leg to stand on, eh?
But I'm sure these stakeholders will understand and they will ask.
I sincerely hope so. So what's the latest update on the outbreak? Is it better? Is it whatever?
All right, at this point, FDA and the CDC in the United States, they have they are continuing their investigation. There's no full assurance at this point to say that lettuce is safe to be consumed. It is wholesome enough to be consumed. And for that reason, Plant Quarantine in collaboration with Public Health, we continue to monitor and put in measures to safeguard our border. Until we understand that there is confidence in the system, then we will put continue to have our safeguard measures in place. Because we have to protect our local population. Absolutely. We cannot afford that, lettuce or any type of food come in the country and cause any public health concern or food safety issues.
And I certainly appreciate that, Mr. Damien Rowe. Thank you so much. Continue to have a wonderful day and keep on doing the good work, eh?
Okay, thank you, Doreen.
Right. Very special guest this morning, Mr. Damien Rowe, Acting Senior Plant Quarantine SPS Inquiry Point Officer of the Plant Quarantine and Produce Inspection Branch, telling us about the temporary ban on imports of romaine lettuce from the United States. And as we conclude our observation of each Jamaican month, let's all remember to continue to support our farmers by eating what they grow as they grow what we eat. Of course, for more information on what's happening in the agriculture and agro-industry sector, please visit the ministry's website at micaf.gov.jm. Follow them on Twitter, check them on Facebook, and see you again next week for another Agrobuzz.
Everybody when we say, eat what we grow what we eat. If it's good